Yesterday, we finished by speaking briefly about what dua is. We said dua is not mentioning a few words. It's not reciting something you find in the dua book. No, dua is an event. It's a connection. It's a reality. So I said when these days we are reflecting on dua Arafah, we are not performing dua, right? We are witnessing the dua that took place between Imam Husayn and God, hoping inshallah that we can learn to imitate that and create the real connection, which is called dua. I want to speak a little bit about dua in our life and how often we have misunderstood perhaps, or maybe we are not benefiting from the maximum benefits of dua. Dua a lot of the times for us has been equal to asking for things we want in this world. And often these things that we want in this world are the external things, right? I hope this happens in the outside world. I hope I get this job. Many things which are in the outside world. And that's why dua for us a lot of the time has become equal to what? To asking for things we want in the external world. Whereas I think the main purpose of dua is establishing that connection between the soul and its creator. And the main things that can be achieved are the changes within. The changes within that can easily translate into external changes as well, but the first center of change is within, right? How does that work? When a soul comes into contact with its creator, when a soul is aware of its true nature, its infinite nature, and slowly as it connects to its creator, transcends the limitations of this physical world, the limitations of the body, it starts to see the world from a different angle. And as a result of this soul behaves in the world differently. Okay, so for example, one of the ways in which, I'm going to give you one example, for example, marriage. We can ask God to find a spouse for us. That's asking for something in the external world. Or dua could be as a result of our connection with God, we find this source of unconditional love and peace within us, right? So dua can change us easier than it can change the outside world. And then once we have this inner peace, inner love, unconditional love, we are no longer going outside seeking love, but we are looking for a partner now that we can share some of this love that we have. And as a result of this inner change from a person who's looking for someone to calm them, to give them love, to take care of them, to a person who has now unconditional peace and love inside, but it just wants to be with someone so they can share this love. It's overflowing. This person is going to find it easier to even find the spouse they want in the world as well. So you can see that the inner change can lead to outside external changes as well. But the main function of the dua is not perhaps to change the outside world, but to change inside. And this is why it is very good to use all sorts of opportunities to create this connection of dua, this connection with God. And a lot of the times we think that we have to wait for a special occasion, it has to be a special night, etc. Today I want to say one of the best occasions for establishing this connection is when you catch yourself with something you don't like, with a shortcoming, with something that needs healing. For example, jealousy, right? A lot of the times we have problem admitting that we are jealous, or I don't know, we have this shortcoming, or sometimes let's say I'm like, I don't love God, or I have this addiction to this thing, I have this issue, I have this problem. All of these are great opportunities to establish dua. Imagine the moment happens, something triggers your jealousy, something triggers, I don't know, that insecurity you have, that addiction you have. Perfect time, right? That moment, establish connection with your Lord. Like, God, I just saw this jealousy inside me, and can you heal this for me? And you'll see that slowly, these things which were annoying you before that turn into this opportunity for you to establish a beautiful connection with your Lord. And slowly, you will see the healing work of our beautiful and loving God taking place inside your soul. Okay, having said that about dua, let us slowly enter to Dua Arafah, which is the second session. And if we don't talk about the dua, some people may get upset. Okay, so the first paragraph that we are faced with when we open our books and look at Dua Arafah starts like this. I'm going to read a few lines and then we'll talk about it together. الحمد لله الذي ليس لقضائه دافع ولا لعطائه مانع ولا كصنعه صنع صانع. Praise be to the Lord whose decree, whose ordinance cannot be repelled by anyone, whose gifts cannot be stopped, whose making, whose creation is not like the creation of any other creator. Then later on, after a few lines, we have فلا إله غيره. There is no Lord but him. ولا شيء يعدله. There is nothing like him. وليس كمثله شيء. Nothing is even like the likeness of him. هو السميع البصير اللطيف الخبير هو على كل شيء قدير. He has power over everything. No one can create like him. Wow. It seems like, by the way, for us, I want to make this very clear. For us, when we're reading this, these concepts may be a little bit forced, right? Like now, it may not be natural for me to say, oh, praise be to the Lord, because there is no one that can create like him, or no one can stop his decree. It may be a little bit forced, maybe, but we have to pay attention to this fact that these are the reports of a real event that took place, right? What am I saying? Imam Husayn had an experience, a religious experience during this dua, an encounter with the divine, right? And he's looking at the world in a different way. Right now, when we look around us, usually, what do we see? We see the asbab, the things that God has created, right? We see the chair, we see the doctor, we see the house that makes us warm. We're living in the asbab world, the things that God has created. But sometimes during a religious experience or a spiritual moment, we see the hidden forces behind us, the hand behind all of this that has created all of this, right? Sometimes they give the metaphor of you're seeing a pen, right? Like let's say someone's writing a calligraphy. You can either look and see the pen is writing, or see, no, the hand is moving the pen, or realize, no, there's a soul inside an individual there who has trained himself or herself to write this calligraphy. So often in this world, we see the pen. But now Imam Husayn has gone beyond, and when he says, Alhamdulillah alladhi laysa liqadaihi dafi wa kasun'ihi sun'u sani', he is not just saying some words, he is reporting, like this is the natural expression of the way he is seeing the world, right? So I want us to bear this in mind. This is not forced, this is not a concept, this is not theology. He looked at the world and he saw the hidden hand behind it and he said, wow. So this is what it was all about. This is the hidden force behind it all. This is the hand that is making everything possible. And now I want to mention why this is important as well, because a lot of the times when people want to praise God for his creation, they compare God with people, right? Which is a very, I think, incorrect way of glorifying God. Because like they say, look, for example, if this person invented computer or this, they used other material, whereas God doesn't use anything else. God's creation is out of nothing, so it's amazing. I get what they're trying to do, but you have to know that this is such an unfair comparison, Because comparing a person who created computer to God is like comparing, let's say, me to Lionel Messi or me to Allah Ta'ala. It's just wrong. The level is so much higher. No. Imam Husayn doesn't say, oh God, your creation is better than the one who created computer or this and that. Imam Husayn says, no. At this level, when I'm looking at the word, there is nothing other than you to compare to you. لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٌ. What are you on about that is better than the person who created the computer? No, at that level, there is nothing else. It's just him. All right? And Imam Husayn says, like, everything is showing you to me. There is nothing other than you. So he's speaking at that level. لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٌ لَا إِلَهَ غَيْرُهُ. No one else is a creator in that level. Right? There is no comparison to be made. And then someone may be wondering, okay, if everything is being done by God, then what the hell am I doing in this world? Why did he even create us? Like, what's my role in this world? The answer again is in the dua, and it's very beautiful. What does Imam Husayn say? One of the description Imam Husayn gives for God is Jazi kulla sani'. Jazi kulla sani'. You are the one who has given us as well a little bit from this power of creation. So wow. So the way Imam Husayn is looking at what's happening in the world is that their only creating force is God. At that level, there is nothing but God. Everything is his hand. He decrees and it happens. But then this God decided that I want to give some of this creating power, the power to son, I'm going to give some of it to this insan that I've created and I love so much. Right? So Imam Husayn says this amazing, magnificent being gave some power of creation to us as well. But he says, you have to know the power to create, which is basically whatever we do. When you act, when you speak, you're creating. Every word we put out there is a creation, right? Speaking is one of the most manifest forms of creation. Even in the Quran, when God wants to use a metaphor, he says, kun fayakun, right? He says kun, and it is. So speaking is a creation we do every second. And we have to know that every decision we make, every word we say, we are practicing God-given power of creation. It's very important. And that's why he says, وَجَازِ كُلَّ صَانِعٍ. Every act we do has consequences. Because be careful. You're not a small thing. You are being a creator in everything you do. Right? So you're using God's power. Be careful with it. You can create a beautiful world or you can create hell with it. Right? Every word we say can either make the world a better place or can create insecurities in someone, can break a heart. You know, sometimes even two countries have gone into war because someone hurt a ruler who has insecurities. See, words are powerful. Do you know how many people who had many great dreams, who could save the world, change things, stopped doing so because when they were a child, someone told them, you can't do it. And they used their God-given power of creation to say a word that changed the world for a worse place. So Imam is saying, God is the creator, but he gave some of this to you. And of course, our power is limited. So we're going to be facing challenges that may be bigger than the power we have at that time. So God says, don't worry. I am رايش كل قانع. If you're content with the power you have and you use it well, God will enrich you and give you further power. But what if I still can't handle the challenges? He says, don't worry. وراحم كل ضارع. I listen to you when you're struggling, when you're having difficulty. If you come to me, I will hear you. Imam Husayn is saying, right? So it's given us this power, but if the power is not enough, if we go and we hit a challenge, we're faced with difficulties, God is there for us. He will help us. He'll listen to us. He'll hear our pain. And then the beautiful things he says, remember, لا تخفى عليه الطلائع. Nothing will be unhidden from him. He knows everything that you're doing. He's there throughout with you. All the challenges, all the worries, he knows all of them. And oh my God, even better than that, ولا تضيع عنده الودائع. Even the smallest thing you do, he's keeping account. The smallest thing you do, not he's keeping account to punish. Throw that away. No, he's keeping account to appreciate it. You were there for your parents when no one else was appreciating. You were there for your children who is in a difficult time, so cannot appreciate you. None of this is wasted. God will appreciate all of this. And my phone is telling me our 15 minutes is over. So inshallah, I will see you tomorrow with the continuation of our 15-minute commentary. Stay blessed and keep us in your du'as. This inshallah will be available on Instagram and in a few hours on YouTube. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.